What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And it looks like Stellantis may be ready to trim the fat, so to speak. And I'm talking about brands. But don't worry, it's none of the brands, if you're watching this channel, that we care about. We're going to get into all of that and more right after this. So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And in today's video, I'm talking about some inside information that I just got on at least one of the brands at Stellantis that is on the chopping block and may not see next year at all. Like, could not finish out the first quarter of 2026. But before we do that, I got to talk about the giveaway that's going on the channel right now with Goodies Popcorn. They just matched the 400X entries that the other giveaway on the channel is going right now with OBD Tech and the Ram 2500. So if you're looking to just want a straight up Ram 1500 Laramie with all the bells and whistles, you can do that through Goodies Popcorn. They just launched a double box set with 400X entries. It's limited to 100 items. There are still a few left, not many. You guys just destroyed that yesterday. 400X entries, and right now there are 3 left for 400X entries on the 2500 Ram Bighorn from OBD Tech. You can learn more about both of those and or pick up those 400X entries with the respective products at tk'sgarage.bigcartel.com. All right, so getting into the video today, we've talked about this in the past, and Stellantis keeps refuting that they're not going to sell or they're not going to do this when it comes to Maserati and the like. And they have to keep constantly coming back and saying, we're not selling it, we're not selling it, we're not selling it. When we know Maserati would not even be a part of Stellantis right now if Carlos Tavares didn't get caught. Had we not reported that back when BYD was sniffing around and being caught at all the different facilities, Chrysler and Maserati would no longer be part of the group. I don't think. I think they'd be Chinese owned right now. Now, this is the interesting part. They're not talking about, and what we're talking about today is not Stellantis selling the brands that we're talking about, them cutting to China. They're just going to Plymouth them, shut it down. And that brand is DS. Now, DS and Lancia kind of play in the same space in Europe as like a luxury, smaller car brand. And DS is just not doing good. Like they don't even make up 1% of the market share, or 1% of the sale numbers, or moving metal within Stellantis from the numbers that I've been able to read. And it's crazy when you think about it. When you have companies like Peugeot, which is also part of Stellantis. Yeah, I know, that French garbage company. When you have stuff like Peugeot, which makes up, I think, 5.1 or 5.2% of what Stellantis does, it just goes to show you how important Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram is to the entire whole. They literally are keeping all of this other shit afloat. Literally. Maserati, not much better. Alpha, but one of the most offending, or one of the ones that are selling the least or moving the least amount of metal, is DS right now. And I think, I know a lot of people think, and people like me who are investors in the company are like, well, yeah, they could sell that to China and, get, knock out some debt, or, get out of the hole that they were in from the first half of the year, which was over $2 billion. But I also like them just shelving it and keeping it. You never know, they could bring it back, like what we're seeing with products coming from Plymouth, which really isn't Plymouth, but there'll be SRTs in 2026 for model year 2027. So that part doesn't surprise me in the least. But to see Stellantis now actually having that conversation, because Tavares was going to keep all the brands if he couldn't sell them. He wanted to get money for sell it. He wasn't willing to shut it down. Antonio Filosa is willing to shut it down. They're willing to shut down DS right now because it's such an underperforming shit. Not saying that the product is bad or the designs or some of the other stuff that they're doing is bad. It's just such a redundant company, right? When you have other stuff there like Lancia and Alpha and Mazda, you don't need DS. You don't. And where it's not really moving, unless they were going to turn DS like into a Bentley or a Rolls-Royce type of brand, which I don't think they could do, it doesn't make any sense to keep it up and running. It just doesn't. But that's the brand. That's what my sources are telling me is on the chopping block and may not see 2026, or if it does see 2026, doesn't make it out of the first quarter of 2026. That's what my sources at the board are telling me now. So I know for you guys that are like me, who are Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram fans, you guys don't give a shit about DS, because believe me, I don't either. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to jump in on those Ram trucks that we have up for giveaways, I got to give major shout outs to the sponsors, Goodies Popcorn and OBD Tech, for stepping up and purchasing those trucks to allow us to do this with you guys. So make sure you go support them, and you can go jump in on that giveaway if you want at tk'sgarage.bigcartel.com. Those 400X entries, by the way, and I didn't get to talk about that, end tonight. So if they don't sell the rest of the ones that they have at midnight tonight, Pacific time, so it'd be 3 a.m. East Coast time, Saturday, gone. They're shutting those 400Xs down. So, and it just goes back to whatever they have up on the site at that point. But anyways, until next time, thank you guys very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And as always, stay petty, my friends.